IVC Dale Gatesville 33 back again, coming straight back. I'm doing back-to-back videos here. So this is a thread response for Chris over at Vinyl Orchard. He did a video on A to Z of, I think, oddities or odds and ends in the collection. So I've tried to kind of follow that theme, or created a version of that theme where I've gone through my kind of collection and picked out artists where I've only got one record by them, and I either kind of haven't listened to them for a while, or think, oh, I actually need to give them a listen. So it's been quite useful exercise, because actually I pulled out some things to think, oh yeah, I need to give that a spin. So it maybe will set my my playlist for a while. So yeah, so starting with A, and this is the Afro Cuban All Stars. So this is kind of an offshoot, or a sort of similar to the sessions that were done around the Buena Vista Social Club, where you know, Rai Kuda went to Cuba and discovered a load of musicians and recorded them and made the film. And this, I think, is a continuation of that great record along that vein, if you're familiar with Buena Vista Social Club. B is Baby Huey and the Baby Huey story. So this is, what is this? Soul, psychedelic soul rock, perhaps. Yeah, great, good, upbeat, strong soul by Baby Huey. That's Baby Huey. So yeah, I think the tale around his life is not so good, but the record sounds great. I think he had a lot of troubles, drugs and all that kind of stuff, and died quite young. But yeah, recommended listen. C is this record, Hollie Cook. So I don't know, how would I define this? Soul reggae, is that it? It's quite or R&B reggae. It's got a bit of a reggae beat to it. Good singer, Hollie Cook. Enjoyable. A lot of these I won't be giving fantastic descriptions, because I've just pulled a load of records out that I kind of know that I'm not that familiar with. So that hence you're getting the descriptions you're getting. But yeah, upbeat, poppy, good. And so I'll probably give this a spin. It's swelteringly hot today, so I think this is a good summer record. D is Dando Shaft, an evening with Dando Shaft. Fantastic folk, psych folk, from was it late 60s? I think it is 1970. This is the original US copy that I got a few years ago. Yeah, great record. Well recommended. E is Earth and Fire. So what's that? I think is it Psyche Prague, Prague with a bit of Psyche. Dutch band. Cover doesn't have much, but on the inside it's pretty impressive. And yeah, it sounds a bit like that, shall we say. Yeah, highly recommended, kind of early 70s, late 60s. Again, I don't do very well on there. I think it's probably late 60s, but I might be wrong. Good band. I probably could do with picking out some more of their earlier stuff if I can find it, but this is well recommended. F, their only album, Fotheringay. So this was a band that Sandy Denny formed with her partner, having left Fairport Convention. This is a great album. It's got the song, what is it, the song that's on it? Yeah, maybe it hasn't got the song I'm thinking of. Pond and Stream is the song I was thinking of. It's got some, but it's yeah, I think, in fact, no, I was thinking of Fotheringay, which isn't on here. But yeah, this is a great UK folk rock album, continuing the kind of sound of Fairport Convention that Sandy Denny was generating. So yeah, highly recommended. Changing gears again from folk back to So this is Blue Eyed Soul, Reni Gaia, so I think Australian soul singer from the early 70s, had a real kind of belt it out, powerful soul voice, and made a few albums, as I say, from the early to mid 70s, enjoyable blue-eyed soul of the kind of powerful belt it out version, if that's a thing. Where are we? H is this. Apologies, this is a very shiny cover. This is Benjamin Herrmann. You may have not have heard of this. So this is, I think, equally Dutch. He might be. It's instrumental. It's kind of a faux library, faux soundtracky. I think the concept was it was supposed to be, or it was. I think it was supposed to be because this guy's fairly young. The kind of advertising music for the Citroen Super Maserati of the early 70s. Now, I happen to love the Citroen Super Maserati, so when I saw this and heard about this, I had to buy the record. But it's a good kind of library style, jazzy, funky record. Highly recommended as well. These are all going to slide off in a minute, so I have to move them. Excuse me. Pull a few more up. Right, So back to the kind of Psyche, US pop Psyche. It's a Beautiful Day. Records in between the sleeve. So this has got a kind of seminal Psyche track, White Bird, on it. But yeah, it's a good listen. Picked this up on a record fair a few years ago, and enjoyable 60s US pop Psyche, with a slight kind of Baroque tinge to it. Car boot sale find here. So this is Alan Ashworth Jones, or Al Jones. Oops, my work computer going off. I think someone's trying to Skype me. They're gonna have to wait. And this is it's got a reputation of being folk psych. I think it's more singer-songwriter, and in my view, from what I remember, but I got this from a boot sale, but what I remember, I think its reputation outweighs the actual material. It's good, solid, late 60s singer-songwriter. But I'll maybe need to give it a listen again to check. We are K, the Kaminski Experience, who I think are mainly more renowned for their DJ sets and radio shows, but a kind of instrumental collective. This is kind of like a kind of pseudo soundtracky library type music with found sound and sound clips and all that. But yeah, really good listen if you're kind of in the mood for that. It's quite quite entertaining. I like to play it in the car. So it's called Beat with an exclamation mark by the Kaminski Experience. L. This was doing the rounds in the VC a few years ago. This is a Light in the Attic release of kind of obscure found artist that called Lewis, and the album is called L'Amour. This is fairly unique in its sound. This is it's very kind of soft, almost spoken, very frail pop, just to say, fairly unique in its sound. Sort of listen to it on a Saturday night with the candles going and in the dark, and it's a kind of sort of really kind of moody piece. Didn't do that very good description, did I? M. Where are we? We're kind of at the Triphop now. More Chiba and Big Calm. So this was an album that I had on CD from when it came out, which I think was 94 was it? 98 even, or 98, and this was reissued about 5 years ago on vinyl, so I picked it up because again it was another one of the kind of when the kids were young and on the trips. It was a good chill out album in the car when we were driving. So revisited that, but I haven't played it for a while. N is an artist. What we got? It's Bill Nelson. This is his debut album, so he's more obviously Bill Nelson was in Bebop Deluxe and is kind of sort of known for his guitar work and sort of proggy pop, but this is a kind of really stripped back singer-songwriter. I'd say folk psych, but that might be doing it, kind of bigging it up a bit too much, but it's a really obscure record. It's sort of, I now realise, having bought it, so it's on a very flimsy kind of stapled cover. I think it should have had a booklet in it, which I haven't got, but I got this a few years ago. It's a really good listen, really interesting. We've got a lot of instrumentals on this. So this is a sort of instrumental soul. It's on Daptone. It's on Daptone, yeah. I was going to say Daptone style. So if you're familiar with the Daptone sound and Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings type sound, this is an instrumental version of that goes through, the Olympians. It goes through the Venus, Apollo, Mars, Neptune, really good, really enjoyable, funky instrumental album. So also funky jazz this time, is Placebo, which I think are Belgian. I might get that wrong. 1973. So I think they put 3 albums out, and they were reissued on Music on Vinyl a few years ago. I listened to them all digitally, and this was the only one that I really liked, and I really liked this. The other 2 I was not sure about, so I didn't buy them. But yeah, really great kind of instrumental jazz funk, jazz fusion. I'm not a jazz fusion fan, so I'll say jazz funk or jazz fusion that I can live with. But yeah, great album. Right, move these ones again. Q. So don't have many Qs. So I'm not showing this. This I've had for ages, and I'm not that not that hot on it, to be honest. But I need to give it another listen. But it's kind of like a staple. You've got to have this in your collection, I think it seems. Picked it again. I think this is a car boot, so fine, so it didn't cost me anything. Yeah, I'll give it another listen. But it's not a fantastic record. But I was struggling for Qs. This is another one that I picked up at a boot sale a few years ago that I don't play very often. I like all of these. So the Ramones, I'm not sure where I stand on the Ramones. This is the only Ramones. All of these, as I said, they're the only album I've got by that artist. I like this album. I enjoy the kind of hits from it. I think the Ramones, I didn't live in the US at the breaking of US punk. I didn't experience this coming out. So coming to it, when I got this, 30 years later, it doesn't light my fire because I don't have that kind of association with it, like I maybe do with some of the UK punk. That I do remember the UK punk scene, although I'm a little bit too young to kind of be, have been going through it. But this is kind of even one stage removed. So I got this when I saw it. I thought, oh yeah, I've got to have that album. I enjoy it, but I don't love it. But I'll give it another spin. This is a bit of a guilty pleasure. I picked up a few albums by this band, but kept this one. So Saxon, Wheels of Steel. I think I picked up a few Saxon records in a collection, and played this, and it just took me right back. So I did see Saxon in the late 80s in Town and Country Club in London. Absolutely fantastic. Enjoyed that. It's kind of good to get a good blast of heavy metal every now and again. And so when I played this, say, nostalgia took me right back, and so I've hung on to it, and so maybe a bit of a guilty pleasure, but enjoyable. This is an album I need to revisit. So this is well kind of reviewed when it got reissued. This is a very delicate instrumental Japanese, was it Midori Takada, ambient record that I listened to it before I bought it on digitally and really enjoyed it. The slightly annoying thing about this is I say it is really delicate and quiet. It's not the best pressing, so it's a little bit crackly, and so that's maybe why I haven't gone back to it so much, because it didn't come with a download, so I don't have it digitally to listen to on my headphones when I'm commuting. I only have it on vinyl, and I know that the vinyl is a bit crackly and it will kind of mar the experience for me. But beautiful artwork, beautiful music, and just unfortunately not the best pressing. More instrumental. Ulva, and so I think this is it a soundtrack, or certainly some soundtrack music. Ulva with the Arctic Philharmonic Orchestra, but this is really, I think it's from a kind of horror film or something like that. But yeah, really dark, moody instrumental piece, really enjoyable. But again, I've not revisited it for a while. Need to check it out. So I've chosen this, the only album I currently have on vinyl, and still have on vinyl. Roger Waters. This is the reissue, so it's got slightly different artwork of Amused to Death. So very lavish, lovely sounding. I had the CD and I bought the album. But where am I with this? So I think sound-wise, this is a fantastically sounding album. And Roger Waters, obviously revered member of Pink Floyd, the creative, if you like, side of Pink Floyd in terms of the songwriting, but sometimes leaves me cold. This is the Wall, sort of political and sort of sort of dark album. Sort of, Mark II. I was doing it a disservice. It's not, but it's obviously a social statement of the time, and really interesting. Has it aged? I don't know. But phenomenal sounding. If you want to kind of, but I'd have to be in the mood to listen to this, I think. But it's a lovely pressing, lovely package, and lovely sounding record. So I don't have an X. I've shown XTC. I've got loads of XTC. I haven't got any other X on vinyl, so I'm not going to show an X. So Y is Yazoo, Upstairs and Eric's. This is an album that really takes me back to my youth. Listen to this a lot with my friends in the car. Someone else trying to get hold of me now. They've given up trying to Skype me. They've emailed me. So this is Yazoo, Upstairs at Eric's. So that's kind of new wave, early 80s. Where is it from? What doesn't say? Can't remember. Was it 82, 18, something like that? So, but yeah, great album. Really enjoyable. And I've got no Z. Other than, so I think I've got no Z where I've only got one album by the artist. So my Zs are the Zombies, which have got several albums, and ZZ Top where I've got 2 albums. So I'm not going to show a Z. So yeah, thanks Chris for the idea, and I've got to put all these records back, but some of them I'm going to play. So you've given me something to revisit over the next week or two. Cheers, bye.